Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast, sharing some Lucha love tonight, going over some Lucha Underground Season 3, Episode number 28, Booyaka Booyaka. That's about as good as that's going to sound tonight. But before we get into this, my old partner in crime is back tonight, Mr. Chris Phoenix, man. How you doing?
Booyaka Booyaka, my left knee. Booyaka Booyaka needs surgery.
Oh.
That's the old adage about Ray. In this case, it was his right knee, but we'll get more into that later on.
Are you sure? I thought he was grabbing his left knee that night.
Nah, it was his right. I double-checked that one.
Was it? Okay. So you missed out on being here with me, or maybe you didn't miss out. No, but you had some you're on the road for work and stuff, which we don't have to get into. But then you ended your week at Battleground, dude. How did Philly treat you, man? How was that?
You know what? The pay-per-view in and of itself, the matches were actually great. As sloppy as people call it, it was a pretty damn decent match. Some of the finishes a little off, but the thing that honestly killed it for me, and I swear to this, I will not be going back to a WWE event at the Wells Fargo Center anytime soon. All right, the one in Wildwood the night before was way more fun than the actual Battleground pay-per-view.
Like the vibe of
the
being there?
The smarks of Philly ruined it. Roman was right, man. Philly needs to redeem itself in the wrestling world. I'm sorry.
They have been crappy lately.
Yes.
With the CM, especially all the chants. I don't remember what they all chanted.
They chanted so many things, and the fact that they chanted CM Punk during the freaking title match. Seriously, guys.
Oh, dude, that was probably the best part of the night. Whether you liked Khali coming back or not, those two kicked ass.
Yes.
I'll give them that. So, yeah, I hear you, man. Philly's been so weird lately, and it didn't stop Monday or Tuesday either, because I think they stayed there for like a 3-night stint or something.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, or maybe they were in Washington on Tuesday. I forget.
They were in. Last I checked, they were in Washington on Monday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the Raw show had house shows down in Virginia, so they were doing the Monday Night Raw in Washington. Not quite sure if SmackDown stayed in Philly or not. I have yet to watch that episode off of DVR, but nonetheless. It was a decent pay-per-view event as far as the matches go.
Yeah. Minus the crowd antics. Yeah, it certainly is different being there. I've been to a handful of events myself. It is a lot of fun. So yeah, all right. So before we get too far off track, we'll reel ourselves back in. We're gonna crack a cold one, get into this Lucha Underground Booyaka Booyaka episode review. And I saw, I don't remember who tweeted it out or whatever, but I noticed someone noted on Twitter that it has been over 250 days since we've seen a Rey Mysterio match on Lucha Underground television. And that may sound like off or wrong, but I don't think it is. It's not that he hasn't been on TV. He's just talking about match-wise in the ring. And I think that's true. It's been since, late last year or whatever it was?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was certainly a welcome, a welcome back to the ring for Rey Mysterio going up against one versus all of the Worldwide Underground. We'll get to that in a little bit. But let's start out with another part of the Cueto Cup. We got round 2 going on still, and I think this is the end of round 2. Figuring out who's going to face who in the next round of the Cueto Cup tournament bracket. And they do note at the top of the episode that we are 4 weeks away from Mundo versus Mysterio. 4 weeks, dude. Are you stoked or what?
Hell yeah! I'm gonna be breaking out my mask for that match.
Hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That is, I don't know, how it's going to come off on TV. I'm sure the people that were there at the time felt it was epic.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to assume it's going to end up being one of the matches of the year. I honestly can't wait because Mundo's one of my favorites, and Mysterio's an icon. I'll
Mm-hmm.
say that all day and all night.
As Matt Stryker puts it, he is the king of lucha libre.
He certainly is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's on a different level. Because he's done so many things.
Mm-hmm.
His surgeries, injuries aside, he's still got it.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, this first match we get into Mac versus Tejano, which was interesting, and I say it like that because we had no famous B come out with Tejano at ringside. What do you think
Yeah.
about that, dude?
You know what? I kind of wondered how it would be going into that. I've come to expect good things from the Mac and a decent match overall. He always seems to amaze me when it comes to his in-ring work. And then to see Tejano come out, but not with Brenda or Famous B, kind of led me to believe that yeah, he kind of turned down the offer. He's still on his own. He's still the same blue collar badass he always was. But when things got a little bit tricky there, I wondered what his allegiance truly was.
Yeah, I mean, it is thanks to Famous B that Tejano did win this match. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I felt it was pretty evenly spun in the ring. These two
Mm-hmm.
really did have a hell of a first match of the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Those two were jumping around. I mean, at one point, I felt like they were actually more active in the ring than the main event was, and that's
Oh,
not a knock on Blacker Mysterio, but just the
mm-hmm.
way these two, and I even said this on Twitter, is that these two were jumping around like a couple of cruiserweights.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad for a couple of guys twice the size of a cruiserweight.
Yeah, yeah, really something. Talk about there's because they're big guys and
And I said Mac has always been agile, so seeing this kind of work rate from him really step up his game. Very very impressive. And I'm sure all the fans who were watching were impressed.
yeah, he always impresses when he's on TV, and he has that. He's got that personality, that snarky cockiness, and he throws in a
Mm-hmm.
stunner and stuff like that. And speaking of
Mm-hmm.
stunner, that's that's what Mr. Famous B got coming his way. I laughed so hard when he slithered in the ring and he's he's hold on there, partner.
I was like, oh no, this
It's
guy.
squirted back with the squirt gun. And
Uh, of all the Russell silly kind of things that you could do, nobody's broken out a squirt gun yet, so it was about damn time that someone did. It's the
it
summer after all.
it was a pro. I heard it gets damn hot in that temple, so it actually
I'll
probably
bet.
felt pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
unless it was something other than water in the
Ye-
squirt gun, like
Oh yeah, yeah. What's his face? Matt Stryker said that. Oh yeah, that might be vinegar in the squirt gun. It's like, oh no, it's not, Stryker. You know it's water. Come
well,
on.
yeah. I mean, if it was something he was gonna like squirt in his eyes as a distraction, but I don't even think the ref was knocked out for that one, was he?
No, no, no. Oh, wait, no, wait.
Was
Yes,
he?
yes, he was. He was temporarily distracted. How? I'm not quite sure. I don't quite remember.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at that, but it was funny. So yeah, Famous B gets a stunner, and then from that distraction turns around and ends up getting a power bomb from Tejano. Tejano wins and goes on in the Cueto Cup. And I'm sure we're not. This is not the last we're gonna see a Famous B with Tejano because it's just going to further the relationship and convince Tejano that Famous B is good for him.
Yep,
As
step by
as as
step.
as much as we laugh and as goofy as it is, it's all part of reeling him in. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait to see what's next to see if Tejano actually does, you know, end up forming an official alliance with him. So
There hasn't been too many who have actually stayed with Famous B for too long. I mean, think Mascarita Sagrada Jr. He was gone within like a month. Dr. Wagner Jr. Well, maybe maybe he's still with him. There has yet to be determined. And then, of course, Tejano, possibilities are endless, but at the same time, I don't necessarily see Famous B in the realm of, say, Bobby the Brain or Paul Heyman, as far as great managers in wrestling history, unless he actually manages to pull off forming an actual stable. A series of monster clients, that's one thing, shades of Harvey Whippleman. But I don't see him necessarily doing that either, because the people who he's with are bona fide athletes nonetheless.
oh
Uh,
yeah,
but at the same time, not necessarily intimidating monsters like, say, Mil Muertes or Matanza Cueto.
yeah, this is very true. So let's see what's next here. So that match wrapped up. Tejano's the winner. It's also going to be interesting to see what happens with Mac next now that he's out of the Cueto Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's still some kind of story to be told with him. Um, we get a fun little promo with in a bar of Son of Havoc and Son of Madness. This rivalry is continuing.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be interesting to see where this goes. I don't know, because they're both out of the Cueto Cup,
Mm-hmm.
so I got a feeling like these two are gonna have some kind of like significant kind of match to like, either Madness wins and then
Mm-hmm.
can do something to Havoc to rid him, so that he's officially like gotten rid of or paid off or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or Havoc frees himself of the old ties of the club. So he's got no
Yeah.
more worries of them coming after him. Something's gonna happen.
What I would like to see happen between those two is aside from the knockdown drag out, we would see, you know an invasion of other club members, whoever they may be, trying to help Madness take out the dues on Son of Havoc, but at the same time, see his old stablemates, Ivelisse and Angelico, come back and actually, defend their former trios uh, champion partner.
Back him up, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be cool. It would be cool. Let's see where that goes. By the way, what also made that little scene so ominous was the music in there, and it did sound familiar.
Mm.
And when I looked it up, it was someone who has been no stranger to other uh, classic songs in other wrestling promotions. Blue Saraceno,
Mm-hmm.
who's had music played in Impact, and also I believe Undertaker had one of his songs for some pay per view. I don't know if it was a Mania or something, some kind of theme within the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was cool to see that. Blue's always a quality guy for music.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then we get something that was like funny and just I don't know how to describe this next segment. It was just goofy and just just way out there.
Yeah.
The flippin' rabbit tribe. Um, Paul London and
Mm-hmm.
Mala Suerte playing checkers on Saltador.
Saltador.
On
Yeah.
Saltador. Dude, is that some serious squad goals or what, man?
Hell yeah! That was funny as hell. I'm like, they're playing checkers on Saltador, but he's not a checkerboard. He's a chess field. They should be playing chess on his back.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling the Rabbit Tribe might be a tad bit too simple-minded for a war of chess.
Perhaps, but you know what? I never count out Paul London as some sort of strategist.
Yeah,
There could be something in the future.
yeah, this is true. This is true. So, they're playing chess, and Paul London's voice in this whole thing is just so like beyond like funny yet creepy.
Yo yeah.
He's I don't remember what he said, but just how he was talking was so dramatic. You know.
Oh yeah, they got to put it together like that because he's like the creepy psychedelic
Oh yeah.
ringmaster kind of guy.
Oh yeah. And then Masquerita Sagrada blesses them with his presence. Walks in with a big gift, and the tag said, "What does the tag say?"
I'm sorry, something like that.
Oh, hopefully this will bring you better luck in the future.
Yeah,
Something to
yeah.
that effect. And they're like, oh, thank you. And they open it up, and Saltador is throwing tissue paper and packing
It's,
peanuts everywhere.
they're
While
taking such joy in unwrapping this.
oh yes, and Paul London is just behind him, just cackling. Our hands waving,
Joyously.
just yes, ever so joyous. It's just ridiculous, and they
Like
kind
opening a present on Christmas Day.
it
Hey!
is. It's Rabbit Tribe Christmas. Yes, it is.
Yes.
And they could have had some like Christmas music playing. That'd be perfect.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
they get to the bottom of the package and reveal the gift is a rabbit's foot.
Mm-hmm. Clutch its
Not
arms.
not well received.
Nope, nope, nope.
No.
The joy that they felt in unwrapping the present was immediately replaced by abject terror.
Yes, absolute horror. Yes. Not taken well. They did not get his sense of humor. Um, Probably worst rib the Rabbit Tribe has ever gotten in their wrestling career.
I'd say so, yes.
I'd have to guess, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say nobody really holds a candle to Randy Orton taking a dump in your gym bag, but I'm not sure if London was privy to that at the time either.
Oh, I'm sure he's got some old war stories.
Hmm.
Because I know whenever destroying kayfabe here, whenever he does bring up WWE in a conversation, it's not
Hmm.
well received.
Oh yeah,
He does not have a lot of fond things to say.
yeah.
I'm sure for the right price he would go back, but I'm sure he went through some shit because
Oh yeah.
it's funny. So yeah, craziness from the Rabbit Tribe. I can't wait to see what's next because now they're all out of the Cueto Cup too, so we'll have to see what happens.
Hmm.
Um, if you had to pick something for like the Rabbit Tribe to go on to, say, the finale, I'm forgetting it again.
At Ultima Lucha Tres.
Thank you, Ultima Lucha Trace. What would you like to see them do? Would you like to see Paul London do something, or work
I,
work
I
as a
would
group, or what?
I would say there's one of three things could happen. It would be Paul London versus Masquerita Sagrada in a one-on-one match with Saltador and Malasuerte at ringside. Or it could be Masquerita Sagrada has to actually fight all three members of the Rabbit Tribe and he actually wins. Or they challenge Masquerita Sagrada after finally realizing that he is not the White Rabbit God that they thought he was, and challenge him to a trios match, and he has to pick two other teammates of his choosing. What I would like to see is the return of a couple of strangers from season 1
Oh,
that would kind of meld along with his vibe. One of which is the long since absent Pimpinela Escarlata.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that. Yep.
Yeah, yep, and possibly another whose name I can't recall, but definitely along those lines. Strange versus stranger.
Yeah, Pimpinella. Yeah. Recently, completely destroyed by one Kevin Cross in AAA recently.
Wow.
Yeah. He is on an absolute rampage down there.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh my goodness.
I
Folks, if you don't know who I'm talking about, please look up Kevin Cross with a K. Go to the YouTube channel and look up his stuff. You will not be disappointed. The footage is nothing short of devastating.
let me ask you: has he taken on Punishment Martinez yet?
I don't think so.
You know what? Because I looked at a couple of the videos, and I've seen like some of the promo tweets that you put out there on his behalf. That his style seems very ominous and very similar in its violent nature to Punishment Martinez. So if those guys would ever fight, epic. If those guys would ever team, absolute destruction.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, Punishment Martinez is a big guy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I know we're straying off the subject here for a second. Just bear with me, folks.
Mm-hmm.
What did I see recently? When I watch Ring of Honor, I usually watch about a month's worth of episodes at a time because they're like only an hour each.
Yep.
So I'll watch a whole block of them. I just saw a match, Punishment Martinez versus one of the younger guys or newer guys rather, uh, Jonathan Gresham, I believe is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Good looking kid, wrestler wise,
Mm-hmm.
but wow, at least a solid 1.5 foot height difference, if not more. If,
I'd say a foot and a half would do it. I mean, Johnny Gresham, he's like just over 5 feet. Punishment, he's like about what 6'5", 6'7", give or take.
it's like it was like putting Kali versus Rey Mysterio. It was like that much of a difference. It was ridiculous. It was like,
Last I checked, Ray Ray's
whoa.
like 5'1", 5'2", something like that.
Oh yeah. it was it was a devastating difference in height. Good match, but wow, just crazy. You don't see that much lately.
Oh
Interesting.
yeah.
So, all right, back to Lucha Underground. Um, oh, we were talking about the Rabbit Triad. Okay.
Ah yes.
Um, hey, what about a rabbit's foot on a pole match? No, maybe not.
Nah.
They would
Just
run and tear. They would run and tear at that one too. They'd be like, "No!"
Yep.
Somebody call Russo. Round 2 of the Cueto Cup continues. We've got Drago coming out with Cobra Moon versus Pentagon Dark. I was really looking forward to this one.
One of the most violent matches you would anticipate, considering
Yeah,
the opponents involved.
yeah. But Drago has not been himself lately.
No.
You know,
Different kind of dragon these days,
he
especially
is
under the influence of the queen of the reptiles.
the queen. Yeah, and just kind of weird seeing him come out in the shackles around the neck.
Oh yeah.
Nonetheless, still a very good match between these two.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and especially the ending, the shenanigans at the end, when the classic ending from Pentagon Dark when he is about to break someone's arm.
Oh yeah, you know it's coming. You know if you lose the match, your arm will be broken.
Oh yeah. Somebody's getting a broken arm. You know,
Oh yeah.
ref, opponent, somebody. Yeah.
Yep.
Um, and Cobra Moon is not having any of that. So she tries
Mm-mm.
to distract him or do something. She gets in the ring.
And he's like, "Bitch, please."
Yeah, she catches a super kick with authority on that one. Oh
Yo,
my
hell yeah.
goodness.
Grab like that,
She just about knocked her 4 weeks away from the end of the Cueto Cup. Just
Damn
unbelievable.
right. Damn right.
Oh man. And then Aerostar trying like hell to revive the relationship and save his brother Drago, or
Mm-hmm.
former brother Drago, I should say, in this case.
Yep. Yep.
Tries to save him. Um,
Wrong place, wrong time, gets a beating for his troubles.
he does. He
And
does.
and unfortunately, beholden to all, he ends up on the losing side of El Cerro Miedo.
Yeah, he's the one that ends up with the broken arm as Cobra Moon and Drago look on with great delight. You know?
With amazement and delight.
Yes, yes. Like, oh, better him than us. You know?
Yeah, pretty much.
So Pentagon Dark moves on in the Cueto Cup, which means in the next round, not sure what day it's going to happen because I don't think we got a call as far as what we're going to see next week. I
No,
don't think we
didn't.
got that.
Nope.
So Pentagon Dark is going to take on Tejano. So
That's a AAA match in and of itself for a championship, if I do remember correctly.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's so we got 4 round 3 matches.
Mm-hmm.
We got Pentagon Dark versus Tejano.
Mm-hmm.
Mil Muertes versus Jeremiah Crane.
Oh, you know what? As much as I give props to old Jeremiah, Mil Muertes is the king of death. You cannot fuck with the king of death.
Yeah, that's gonna be. The violence in that match is gonna be brutal.
Pretty much on par with when he faced Taya.
Oh yeah, if not worse.
Oh yeah,
You know?
because you would have to incapacitate the king of death in order to win, and very few men to this day have even temporarily incapacitated King of Death.
Yeah.
You got what is it? Cuerno, Puma, Matanza. That's pretty much it. If I remember correctly.
The list is not long.
No. And Jeremiah Crane, much to his chagrin, is not an elite enough wrestler to try to accomplish this insurmountable task. I say this to you now, Mil Muertes will win. But Jeremiah will put up a hell of a fight.
See, but now there's that X factor in this match that's really going to throw a giant question mark in here.
Which is what they were hoping for.
Katrina.
Yes.
How are they, especially Jeremiah Crane, if Katrina wasn't at ringside, it'd be a much different match. But you know she's going to be out there in Mill's corner. At least you assume she is.
No. She's made it abundantly clear that she is in Mill's corner. And she has made it abundantly clear to him that she is not coming back to him ever.
Yeah, true.
When a bad bitch like that tells you something's up, you better fucking listen.
Especially one with a stone wrapped in velvet.
The fucking resurrection stone. Recognize.
Right? Bitch, don't play.
Bitch, don't play. She kill you with that resurrection stone. She bring her boyfriend back from the dead to whoop your ass all over again. Oh, God.
Somebody stop her.
Somebody stop her. She's going too far. Mill, stop beating him with a rock.
Quit licking up.
There you go
Nasty.
again. There you go again. There you go again. Whooping his ass with a rock.
Nasty hoe licking everyone. Stop that.
Sit dirty. You crazy nasty hoe with your rock striped in velvet. Oh, Lord.
Oh, man. Oh, and then speaking of Katrina, we're not done with this bitch.
Oh, yeah.
She she confronts Pentagon, which okay, this kind of reaffirms what I was talking about, wondering about alliances.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of erases the question temporarily. I'll say
Temporarily, if you will.
she confronts Pentagon Dark and reminds him. This is love this segment. Reminds him. She places her hand on his head. And we see a flashback of how Pentagon Dark took out, like you said, one of the very few times Mil Muertes was taken out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was this season 2 or was it season 1?
Season 1, if I remember correctly. That was a very long time ago. Kind of toward the middle to end. Because if I remember correctly, he dealt him a near fatal blow and almost won the title. But got his ass kicked in the process.
See, I was thinking it was when Muertes was taking out when Matanza showed up. When they had that big, oh man, I can't remember what the hell they called it. It was like a big battle. It was like a big Lucha Royal Rumble where they all one by one came down to the ring.
Yeah, I remember that one. I forget what it's called too, but yeah.
And then they
Aztec Warfare.
Thank you. The few brain cells that I need for this, and you help fill in the rest. Thank you.
I do what I can.
The man. Yeah, it was like one by one they were all putting their finishes on Mill, and then wasn't it Pentagon Dark like eliminated him before Matanza came down or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah. If it wasn't the first Aztec Warfare, it might have been the second.
Yeah, I have to think it
but
was something like that.
It was before his transformation to the complete dark side, before his match with Vampiro.
Yeah, that could be. I'd have to go back and look. So much has happened, you know? It's jeez Louise.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so nonetheless, Katrina confronts Pentagon Dark and says that, an old debt is going to still be paid, and says, wouldn't it be interesting if you were, how does she say it? If you were allowed to go through to the next round, as in she might possibly help Pentagon Dark win against Tejano.
Yeah, which would make sense for a future match. However, if either of them loses, that sets up the match incarnate anyway.
Yeah, one way or another, you gotta think they're gonna face.
Oh yeah, by virtue of both winning or virtue of both losing.
Yeah. So yeah, this is gonna get really interesting between Mil Muertes and Pentagon Dark and Crane. It's gonna be a really weird triangle of sorts. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go on to the main event. PJ Black representing the WWU.
Yep.
Courtesy of Ben Cook.
Uh-huh.
Versus the iconic Rey Mysterio Jr. Not the type of match I thought we were going to see. Not saying it was a bad match.
No, by any means.
But this one was really slowed down. We see a different kind of wrestling style that we don't see much from PJ Black.
Well, that was most likely guarding against Rey for, his years of dedication to the business, his body being broken down, trying to help him wrestle his style. He got a few high spots here and there, but for the most part, definitely a slowed down match.
It was, but it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. And then, of course, this is like the umpteenth show in a row where we saw a knocked out ref. This time it was Marty Elias.
Yeah. But here's something you may or may not have noticed. Toward the start of the match, we saw a good exchange between the two going back and forth, and then Ray Ray gets knocked down. The strange thing that I saw was PJ smiling and extending his hand without malice.
To Ray?
Yes. As in a show of honor.
No, I did not notice that.
It was very subtle.
I noticed that between Tejano and Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. No,
There
I'd have to go
was
back
there
and
was
watch
something of honor between Tejano and Mac. Absolutely. Neither of them being true heels. Tejano more of an in-betweener than anybody. Mac being more of a hero because of his alliance with Sexy Star, but still, a show of honor from PJ Black toward Rey Mysterio, if only briefly.
Yeah, yeah, I have to feel like, especially because of last week and what happened, that there's some kind of like PJ Black feels some awkwardness with this new line of management going on or representation in the worldwide underground.
Mm-hmm.
Like something doesn't quite gel between he and Cook.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's like, who is this guy? What does he want?
Yeah. Yeah, what is he doing? We don't like. Do we need him? And I mean, he even offered up that, not to backtrack, but yeah, he did offer up that question.
Mm-hmm.
What is he? Why do we need him and whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Which Cook quite cocky put him in his place. But yeah, nonetheless, minus the shenanigans and everything, a very good match between PJ Black and Rey Mysterio. A nice little preview for what we're going to get 4 weeks down the road. Interesting to see the rest of the Worldwide Underground in there. We see Jack Evans in there. We see Mundo in there. Even Taya.
No Ricky, though.
No Ricky, yeah. That was
Suspicious
interesting.
by his absence. Maybe he was like backstage trying to bulk up or whatever,
Yeah, or picking out shades and lost track of time, something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or smelling Mundo's towel from when he took that shower, maybe, or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Like that's I could see that.
Yep.
Dragon Azteca Jr. trying to come out and help out the odds with Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
But to no avail. Ends up getting his ass kicked, but then in the long run chases them off with a chair.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the classic 619 from Rey Mysterio, which ends the match between he and PJ Black. What do you think of this match?
It wasn't necessarily a knockdown, drag out, spot fest like I thought it might be, but considering the amount of hell that both of these wrestlers have been through in their careers so far, especially Ray, longest reigning king of luchadors, versus PJ, who's damn near ruptured himself silly from that 450 he does, and at the same time also a darewolf as he does several stunts outside of the wrestling ring, prone to injury, and most recent injury from base jumping. We wish you a speedy recovery, PJ. Don't ever do that shit again.
Oh, the guy is just... I give him credit for his love of extreme sports and daredevil acts. Once you get that in your blood, I get it. I've never done stuff like that, but I understand.
Oh yeah.
The rush. You're on the living on the edge aspect of it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, geez, you got to think at some point. You gotta, if it starts affecting everything else, that your career, everything that you live for, you got to start wondering if he's going to start rethinking this, or if maybe it won't slow him down at all. Who knows?
Yeah. Either way, wish you a speedy recovery, PJ. Aside from that, definitely a great match, and a decent setup for the story to conclude. It's going to be interesting seeing the seed of dissension being planted in PJ's mind for the upcoming Ultima Lucha Trace, and to see where his allegiances lie, especially after the special interest of Mr. Cook.
Yeah, you got to wonder if this is going to help the Worldwide Underground or if we're going to see the demise of the Worldwide Underground by the end of the season.
It's possible. I was going to say they didn't really come together until around season 2.
Yeah.
So seeing them dissolve by season 3 seems to be about accurate. Decent factions don't necessarily run for longer than a couple of years if you're doing it right. If you're not overdoing it like DX or NWO.
Yeah. And you can, I can make comparisons to this shenanigans wise, and some of the comedic aspects of this group, to also like the Bullet Club and stuff like that. Yeah, they are definitely unique. And hey, I meant to ask you because I did not talk to you last week. Mundo's been in the news a lot. Especially with him, looks like he might be wrapping up his stint in AAA soon. And he's going to be doing some appearances. I don't know if he's doing a full-on jump to Impact. I know he's at the live shows coming up in in about a week or so. I think it's in about a week.
Yeah.
The Impact Live shows up in the New York area. Are you excited to see Taya and Mundo in Global Force Wrestling?
Considering that that they are currently on one of the best looking low level platforms at this rate, going from AAA in Mexico to Lucha Underground just over the border in the United States, going across the nation to Florida to Impact Wrestling is a step up to the eventual emergence and return of John Morrison in WWE. I see it's a progression. This kind of thing, you as the old rockers once said, you don't know what you got until it's gone. And apparently Vince, or perhaps even Trips, is feeling the sting of letting old Johnny Mundo go right in his prime. Because this guy has been doing nothing but kicking ass ever since he left.
He really has.
Going down from the Indies out down to AAA and becoming the super mega triple champion. Not many people get that honor.
Well, he's got all the gold.
That's right.
Well, minus the Reina's championship.
Exactly. That belonged to Taya until a few weeks ago.
Right.
But still, great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, especially with it's certainly going to add something to the Global Force Wrestling scheme of things going forward. So I can't wait to see that. That's gonna pretty much wrap this up. So yeah, going forward in the Cueto Cup, I actually printed it out and filled it up because I had to just look at it. I couldn't think of who was all gonna face who. So so round 3, we discussed a little bit of this already, but I'll go over it again just real quick. Pentagon Dark versus Tejano. Bill Muertes versus Jeremiah Crane. And on the other side of the bracket, we got Pindar versus Phoenix. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And then the 4th match is Puma versus Dante Fox.
3 out of 4 decent good matches. I will say that I'm not quite sure what to expect in the one with Pindar versus Phoenix, but
that might be the sleeper.
Yeah, that might be.
We didn't get to see much because of Cage and his temper tantrum.
Oh yeah.
for lack of better words. I'd hate to say something like that to his face. I probably would try to choose
That's
some better words.
I was gonna say that's how he lost the match last week, right?
Well, yeah.
By disqualification. Here is your winner. That's what happens when you try to use a massive metal gauntlet in the ring.
Yeah, and then kill the ref and just
Yeah.
He looked fine this week though.
Yeah.
He looked like I didn't see a knot on the head or nothing. He looked okay.
Yeah.
So good to see. So yeah, the Cueto Cup continues on, and we're gonna certainly see some interesting things forming around the whole Jeremiah Crane Mil Muertes Katrina triangle. And oh man, I can't wait to see where this goes. It's gonna get better, man. It's gotta.
As the end draws near, the suspense builds, and we look forward to what holds next in the Cueto Cup here on Lucha Underground.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Mr. Phoenix. Thank you. So, for this guy, Mr. Chris Phoenix, this is J-Bone. We're going to wrap this up now. Any final thoughts?
Phoenix better win the damn cup. He better win the damn championship after Ray. Because to see those two face each other for the world championship, oh my God.
Oh, that would be good. I really, until we get another couple matches into this, I don't know. It's hard to say.
We shall see.
Because I see solid performers coming out of pretty much every single one of these 4 matches in round 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. That wraps it up. Thanks, folks, for watching. We'll catch you same time Thursday night next week for some more Lucha Underground love. Good night, folks.